Hey folks, welcome back to the Lone Pine Tarot, or of course, welcome to Lone Pine Tarot if this is your very first time here. Thank you so much for joining me today for a pick a card reading on a topic I have actually never done before on the channel. And as you can tell by the title you just clicked on, that is a message from your pet. Now that might be a pet that is currently here on Earth, or you might also get into contact with some pets that are beyond. They've already left, but of course they're still watching over you, as our loved ones always do. And I was inspired to do this reading today, not just because I've seen other tarot readers do this topic, and I always thought, oh, that'd be fun to do, right? But because I have a brand new tarot deck today that I've been wanting for a super long time, and I was super excited to use it, and that is the Oriens Animal Tarot, specifically the Pocket Edition. So I thought, it's an animal tarot, let's do a pet reading. Very fitting, right? So without further ado, let us choose our pile leaders with said tarot deck. So reaching out to the pets here on Earth or beyond that want to reach out to pile 1, 2, or 3 today for their messages collectively, could you please guide us to the right cards for them to choose with? Thanks. There we go. So this is for pile 1. Feel this card for pile 2. And for pile 3 today, I feel drawn to this one back here. And let's unveil the cards together. So for my wonderful pile number 1 today over here on the left, your pile leader is the Queen of Swords. And forgive me, I'm not exactly sure what precise species of bird that is, but it is some sort of bird. Very fitting for swords, because they're the air suit in tarot, right? So pile 1 is the Queen of Swords with this bird. Feel free to correct me in the comments if you know what bird that is. Thank you. And then for pile 2 today, here in the middle, we have, oh, very cute, a Knight of Pentacles with the honeybee, or the bumblebee it looks like more specifically. Love bees. Very cute. Very important to the ecosystem as well, of course. We rely on bees and pollinators a lot. And then last but not least for pile 3 today, over here on the right, we have that's the 5 of Cups. Very interesting with, I believe they're either crickets or they're like locusts. I believe they're technically crickets, but once again, in the comments, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but 5 of Cups with the crickets or locusts. So just a quick refresher, pile 1 today is the Queen of Swords. Pile 2 today here in the middle is the Knight of Pentacles, and pile 3 is the 5 of Cups. However, you are always welcome to pause on this part of the reading if you need more time to decide. If you are brand new to pick a card readings, I always have a little section here to explain my method of choosing. What I suggest is closing your eyes, taking in a deep breath, and when you take in that deep breath, imagine pouring in pure light into your lungs, into your heart. Hold it for a moment. And when you let that air back out, imagine breathing out negativity in whatever way that manifests for you. And when you open your eyes again, see what card really plucks at your heartstrings, whatever really calls to your gut. What is your eye drawn to first? You'll kind of feel it like a knowing, is what I call it. An intuition maybe is a better word. And whatever pile that ends up being, or whatever method of your choosing, when you are ready, you can drop down to the description box below, or the top pinned comment beneath the video. Find the timestamp there for your pile, and I will see you in our little chat about a message from your pets. Toodaloo. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 1. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about a message from your pet. As you recall, the pile leader you chose was the very beautiful Queen of Swords with the bird. I still am quite not sure what species it is. Like I said, if anyone in the comments knows, feel free to tell me. Thank you so much if you do. But it is a very beautiful bird, whatever species it is, with the gorgeous blue, almost looks like black at the end feathers, and the golden stomach with flowers by the hilt. And of course, whenever we choose with tarot cards, we put them right back in the deck so they're available for the message if need be. And let's begin the reading by using these tarot cards to connect with the pet that wants to come forward with you. So pet for pile 1, collectively. Could you give us around 5 tarot cards that explains a little bit about your life from beginning to end, or beginning to at least current if you are still on this earth. Thank you. Okay. Actually, these two kind of came out together, so I'm going to take them together. And there is the last with number 5. Let's view the cards. So for the first card from this pet, we have the King of Cups with the flamingo, it looks like. Lots of birds already in this pile, so we'll see what other animals pop out pile 1, but I'm already getting the sense that maybe, potentially, this was a pet bird or an animal that really, like, was associated with birds, like either in their name, or I know, of course, like cats like birds too, right? One of their favorite things to do is watch birds from windows in my own experience, but the King of Cups tends to represent someone that is good of heart, someone that is very emotionally in tune. This could have been or currently is a pet who is very attuned to your emotions. Like, they're very intuitive when it comes to how you're feeling. Like, you ever just have like one of those pets, pile 1, that they know when you're down or when you're sad, and they just instantly, like, they come to you and they're like, oh, I want cuddles or pets, or I want to play with you. And like, it's like they know that you need like a little bit of a mood boost. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting off of this pet. Okay. Things like that. So that's the first card. And then we have, from the second one, the 10 of Swords. All right, so this is a starfish, it looks like. Another kind of aquatic card, like the flamingo is. And the 10 of Swords represents either something having been brought to an end, or something kind of being at the end of something. I'll see what the next card is, because that can require a lot of context, but that might give me the sense that this is a pet, a pet that has passed on pile 1. 10 of Swords tends to be like something has, I mean, it's not the death card necessarily, but it's something that has had an end of some sort. Or it could also be that this was a pet that like had kind of a health scare at like the very early part of its life, because this is just the second card in the overall, what I call the story of the trajectory of the cards that are coming out. So yeah, let's get the third card to see what the context is. The Page of Swords reversed. Another swords, okay. This time we have yet another bird, okay. Looks like a parrot or a cockatiel of some sort. And the Page of Swords is reversed, is usually, I don't know if they had like a brain injury, because swords tends to deal with the mind or also the voice. Could have been something with their throat, something with, if they were a bird, something with their wing, because like I said, swords is air, so it's like, especially with birds, you associate that with like their wings, their ability to fly, or like they had a broken wing, or there was something with their throat or their brain if they did have like an injury early on. And the Page of Swords reversed also just kind of represents someone that is unable to explore the things that make them intellectually curious. I don't know if they had some sort of disability or they currently do, pile 1, but I do see like some sort of injury there. Or some disability, something that kind of like holds them back. And maybe that's even why that you like adopted them, because they needed someone to take care of them. That like was a little bit of a obstacle for other people adopting them, because I know, and this is really sad, pile 1, but you know this, like how sometimes pets that have extra needs, like people they're like more afraid to adopt them because they're like, oh, that takes extra work, which is, like I said, that's just really sad, but that does happen a lot in the pet world, unfortunately. So I'm getting that sense off of this pet, like you were someone that stepped in for them when no one else would. I don't know, too, maybe you foster, like, difficult animals as well, something along those lines. Oh, we have the King of Wands. Okay, so we have our first cat. This is a lion, of course, and the King of Wands is someone who's very, very, very confident. So even if this pet did or does have some sort of thing that holds them back, like a health condition of some sort, does not knock their confidence whatsoever. There's a very confident creature is what I'm getting off of this. Almost a little proud. It could be, too, that at the time that they were born, they were technically, like, you know, in their astrological sign a Leo. Like, we think of, like, I have a pet that's a Leo, and it's very fitting for her because she's, like, the quintessential really proud cat, right? Born in August, so, yeah, King of Wands are very confident. And then last but not least, we have the Queen of Wands reversed with, it almost looks like Is that a chinchilla? Some sort of mouse type creature, little mammal. I'm not quite sure. Once again, chime in the comments if you know. But the Queen of Wands reversed being next to the King of Wands reversed is interesting. So it's almost like at one point they were very confident, and then at the end here with the Queen of Wands being like technically like I call it the outcome. That's now I'm reading this particular spread with this card reading today. But something kind of knocked their confidence. So I almost get the sense, pile one, it's like they might not have always had that disability or special health need. And before that, they were very confident animals. And then afterwards, it's like something kind of gave them a spook. And it's like you had to jump in and like adopt them or foster them or take care of them after. Well, and I also just remembered this, and this is really sad, pile one, but the Ten of Swords can also represent like a betrayal. So I don't know if maybe this pet was abused before you got them. Like maybe that's another reason why they needed a new, pet parent adoptee, because whoever their owner was before just was not a very nice person. And it's really sad too, because, we see a King of Cups at the very beginning here. It's like someone who's very emotionally in tune and really wants connection with other people. But then there comes that betrayal or that setback right there with the Ten of Swords. And it's just like, ouch, like that just kind of, broke them a little. It's so sad. And then maybe a little bit of confusion, that too, especially with animals, when someone that they love hurts them, it confuses them because they just don't understand. Humans are capable of a lot greater, as we know, dark things than animals are. So I think to animals, it's like they don't quite understand when, their beloved owner doesn't treat them very well. But then you stepped in, pile one, is what I'm getting the sense of. And it kind of brought their confidence back. However, with the Queen of Wands reversed, I think maybe sometimes, it's kind of funny because you have a lion right next to almost like a mouse creature. So it's almost like sometimes they were very confident and proud, and then sometimes they were kind of like a scared little mouse, or that they currently are if they're still living. I know I did say, I think for some of you, this pet is already passed on because of that Ten of Swords, but I do get the sense even if they are passed on, they're still pretty prominent in your life, surrounding you a lot, almost like a spirit guide animal of some sort, pile one, or just a loved one that tends to watch over you. Like I've had personal experiences with pets that I've had signs of after they pass, so I know for a fact, like at least from my lived experience and from what I've heard from other people, pile one, from their experiences with their passed on pets, they never really leave. Just like humans, they never really leave. They're always around still, watching over you, sharing their love with you, even if you don't necessarily always recognize it. Now, we do have a lot of fire energy with 2 wands cards, but we also have a lot of air energy with 2 swords, okay? So I think of either a very proud animal, or once again, I think of a bird, because we have 2 birds, and then your pile leader was also a bird. So I think for a lot of you, this could have been a bird of some sort. However, of course, we do have, like, the lion is a cat, right? And then we also have an aquatic animal with both the flamingo and the starfish. And then we do have a small mammal with I'm pretty sure that's a chinchilla. But correct me if I'm wrong in the comments there with that Queen of Wands reversed. So very beautiful. So that was, I asked them, I was like, what's the story of your life? So that is what they're telling me about what their life has either been or was, if they're already passed on, across, we call the Rainbow Bridge, right? So beautiful animal. I get the sense, even though they were kind of a scaredy cat sometimes, or sometimes they were very proud and brave, right? They were very emotionally in tune with you. I think they also brought a light, or they currently do bring a lot of like light to your life, pile one. I don't know if maybe they kind of brought you out of like a depressive funk, or if they currently are, something like that, especially with the fire energy being so prominent and the air energy with the swords. It's like, because not only are they emotionally in tune with you as a King of Cups, it's like they're also an animal that's very, swords makes me think of someone who's very smart, okay? Although, with the Page of Swords reversed, maybe sometimes they kind of do some dumb things. That's normal with, humans too, but like animals and pets, even the smartest cat I've ever had sometimes is kind of a dummy, but we all love them, just like they love us when we're dummies too, so, but yeah, I get the sense this is a intelligent animal, also a very vibrant animal, despite maybe some of the setbacks it has had, or did have if it was, it's passed on, right? So Let's grab some other cards. I do have a cat wisdom deck. I used this in last reading, and I never use it enough. I don't use this deck a lot, so let's use the cat deck. So I'm Pet reaching out for pile 1. Anything else you want to say to them? Thank you. Feeling this one back here. You know, it's very cute. We had this in our last reading as well. The gift of giving. So we have a cat mother with her kittens, of course. Very cute. And on the back it says, the gift of giving is a gift that gives back. Indulge in the pleasure of giving freely to those you love. Even practice little acts of kindness to strangers. Bask in the joy of giving and notice the good that comes back to you. Remember to also give to yourself to restore and boost your own energy. So once again, pile 1, this just makes me think of an animal that required more care compared to the average pet. Okay. Even so, I feel like that didn't really register in your mind because you love this pet so much. It's just like, you don't even think about their extra special needs that like most pets don't require. And 2, this is a card that tells me that, you know, whether they're alive or they're already gone to the other side, they're very appreciative of what you do for them or what you did for them. Because it talks about, you know, the gift of giving. Like, they're really emphasizing, I appreciate pile 1 for what they gave to me. And also, too, with the imagery here of, like, a mother with her kittens, I get the feeling that they kind of saw you as, like, a parental figure. Like, a mother-like figure, almost. Okay, so very dependent on you, but at the same time, that dependency has not created, like, a resentment in you. It's created, like, oh, this is my beloved pet, right? This is something that I really nurture and I really care for, okay? And 2, at the end it says, remember to also give to yourself to restore and boost your own energy. Okay, so they're also reminding you, pile 1, that when, you know, I think by nature you're a very giving, caring person, and I think that's why you were drawn to this animal. And also I think part of your life path I'm hearing from this pet is being a very nurturing person. Like, I don't know if maybe even in your, like, career, like you're a nurse or something like that, or you're a veterinarian, like you care for other animals, or a pet sitter, or you walk dogs or something like that. Like, you're very, some of you I think maybe are even foster animals, maybe even foster wildlife. I'm hearing for some of you, maybe that's why there were so many birds, because for some reason, like, an eagle kept coming into mind, like raptor, like birds of prey. For some reason, so maybe it's even like wildlife rehabilitation. But in either case, they're reminding you to also take care of yourself sometimes, because maybe I think you tend to burn yourself out always trying to take care of others, and also, you know, pets specifically. I don't know if maybe currently you have a pet right now, if it is this one or a new one, or a different one, I should say, that also requires a lot of energy. They're saying to remind you, like, please take care of yourself now too, okay? Like, you need to make sure that you have your own rest and your own food and, you know, self-care, and have the energy and sleep that you need and things like that. So it's like they want to kind of give back to you too, okay? Also very cuddly, I get the sense. If they were, you know, the kind of animal that can cuddle. Of course, I know, like, I guess birds can kind of cuddle, right? I don't know if anyone's ever had a bird in the comments. Chime in and tell me if they've ever cuddled with you, but very beautiful. The gift of giving. So make sure you give to yourself just as much as you give to others. And then we also have the animal messages deck. Let's grab a card from that one. Now, this one sometimes is hard to apply to pets because it's more human type situations, but we'll see what comes through. The message always rhymes true when it needs to. So we have another aquatic animal. We have the crab. Show your emotions and regenerate love. Okay. Show your emotions, regenerate love. So yeah, such as, you know, once again, it's just a reminder, pile 1, of, like I was saying earlier when that King of Cups first came out with the flamingo, it's like very, like, an emotionally in tune animal. Okay. Someone who very deeply, even maybe to, like, beyond the capacity that their species normally is, like, known for. Like, have you ever had a pet before, pile 1, where, like, people always say, oh, cats are, like, averagely this smart, or dogs are, like, this smart on average, you know, and insert animal here, you know, be it a bird, aquatic animal, lizard, whatever. And it's like, that pet, despite that average, quote unquote, like, seem to be really smart beyond their species. Like, this is what I'm feeling with this particular pet. I do think it's even possible that, like, you've reincarnated with this pet before, and I think maybe that's why you're so deeply emotionally connected to this animal, okay? I don't know, maybe they were a pet also in a past life of yours. They might also reincarnate during this life as another pet of yours in the future if they already have passed, right? Or even if they're still alive, pile one, you know, in the future in their soul contract. It could be that they do reincarnate with you at some point in the future, but just a very emotionally in tune animal. And love, too, is an emphasis here. Deep love. Loving you very deeply. Okay, even though it's funny because we think of a crab as kind of an, you know, an animal that maybe is a little crabby sometimes. So maybe they were a little snippy at times. Maybe that's where that pride comes in with the King of Wands. A little bit too proud, but I almost get the sense, too, like, sometimes maybe even they snipped at you a little bit when you had to do some extra, like, upkeep with them or taking care of them, but they did appreciate it, or they do appreciate it, pile one, despite, you know, sometimes they're a little proud about it, but aren't we all, right? A little proud sometimes. But sometimes we need to accept that we need help, so very cute. Okay, and then actually I'm going to put this one up here, and then let's do your tea leaf fortune. I actually have a lot of decks today. I got excited because I was like, with this pocket tarot, I was like, oh, I can use more decks because I have more room on the table. Okay. So any more messages here for our wonderful pile one pet coming through? In fact, I've got, let's see, 2 other oracle decks after this one. Okay, those 2 really want to come out, or 3, I should say. So we're going to take them in a row. We have Scissors, disappointment in some affair. And once again, you know, we kind of see like, sort of like blades like we did with the Ten of Swords. So I don't know if there was something that had to be like amputated or cut. Or that was like an injury that they have or had. Then we have Throne, position of authority. Okay, so we have a little bit of that pride coming through. I think they might have ruled the roost a little bit, or they currently do, pile one. I get kind of catitude off of this card. Really strong catitude, even if they aren't a cat. But even if they aren't a feline, they have that very lion, proud, kingly, queenly energy. So they don't rule, or you don't rule the roost. They do. Yeah, there we go. Fly. You know, I was just saying that. It says a period of ill health and depression. Pile one. That's just a reconfirmation to me that I think this pet has had ill health, or it did when it was alive, if it's already passed on. And then, yeah, depression, I think it always kind of reminds me of when I was saying, like, I think maybe they kind of brought you out of a funk, or, like, taking care of this animal, or similar type of, like, fostering, healing animals brings you out of a funk. Like, it's just a very deep emotional connection. I don't know if, like, too, if you were kind of lonely at that time in life, too, when you adopted them, and it's like they brought you out of that loneliness. Because, you know, as a society, we really underrate the effect that pets can have on us emotionally. I think as a society, we just don't appreciate the way that they can boost our mood as much as they do. As selflessly loving as pets can be, you know, things like that. So, yeah, I get the sense maybe amputee with disappointment in some affair with the scissors, like having to cut something, okay? Or maybe they had, like, an ear that was, like, cut or, like, shredded in some way. Like, maybe before you adopted them, they had gotten hurt in that area. There's something along those lines. There's, like, a cut or, like, a removing of something. Yeah. And I think that's maybe partially what you helped them with, or it was, like, a distinguishing feature of them. Okay, let's see what else pops through. Oh, this reading brings me quite a lot of joy. I love pets, so cute. We have the squirrel and chestnut with preparation. You know, I almost wonder if this is a pet that's currently alive, pile one. It's like you're preparing for something for them. I don't know if maybe they're near the end of life, or there's like something that you're preparing them for soon. Maybe like you're preparing them to be adopted out because you're just fostering them. Or it could be like preparing for a surgery, or like planning for a surgery of some sort. Maybe that's where like the amputee thing comes in. But they're bringing that up for some reason. I'm going to grab the tarot deck and ask just one card on what do you mean by preparing, pet of pile one? What do you mean in preparing? Just one card, please. Thank you. Right there. The Five of Wands reversed, and it almost looks like, is that an angelfish? Five of Wands reversed is avoiding a conflict. Avoiding a conflict. It might be almost like preparatory surgery to prevent something that maybe they don't necessarily have yet. Like, I don't know if it's maybe they got like cancer in one area and it's like removing that part to prevent it from moving somewhere like else in the body. Or it could also be like they got in a fight. Because the Five of Wands can indicate like a fight of some sort. And it's like you having to like heal them from that fight, especially if they were like an outdoor animal or like they had been left outside. And then too, I just get the sense of inflammation off of this with all like the red wands kind of being spindly. Also veins, so it could be something to do with blood too, because I think of like the red wands almost make me think of veins here in this particular card. So it's like preventing like blocking of veins, or it's like removing something to avoid a conflict of some sort in the future. They're bringing that up for some reason. Let me grab just one more tarot card. What do you want to say about that, Pet? For pile 1. What do you want to say about that? Three of Cups reversed. Oh. They're like, don't leave me alone. Oh. Well, it's kind of sad, but also cute. Because the Three of Cups is reversed is like either like avoiding a social event or not being in a group of some sort. Maybe they're a little bit afraid of being lonely during that procedure, or they were at the time. So I don't know if it's possible for you to be there while I know, I'm not quite sure. Any veterinarians, I couldn't get the word out, that know if you can be in the room with your pet when they have surgery. Like, I don't know if each clinic is different, but it's like something about like they don't want to be alone. Or like they know they're not alone. That could be another interpretation. Okay. Oh, I think they're good. Either they were or they really are quite attached to you, pile 1. This is so cute. Oh my god, this reading. I should have done a pet reading a lot earlier because they're so cute. And let's see, we have the Nature's Whispers. Hope and happiness. Oh. Once again, we have lots of birds. Looks like swans and geese and songbirds. There are some other animals, but it's mostly birds on this card, hope and happiness. So they want to let you know here just at the end of the reading, pile 1, that wherever they are right now, either if they're currently here on Earth or they've moved to the next world, like we say, past the Rainbow Bridge, they are very, very happy. They're very happy with you. They're very happy with what they currently have or had in the past tense. I mean, like I said, I get the sense off of you that you care very deeply for your animals, pile 1. And so I think naturally, like, they're grateful because it's like, oh man, I got like one of the best pet owners in the world. Or I don't know, if you have a cat, it's more like pet servant, right? But injecting a little bit of a cat joke there because I've been owned by many cats in my life. But yes, they're very happy. And also, too, they're telling you to have, if there is, like, a difficult procedure coming up, they're telling you to have hope. So I think things will work out just fine if you're kind of worried about if, you know, it's like a surgery that they need or some sort of healing from something. Because hope is like, well, have faith. It's going to work out okay. It's going to be great. Okay. And also the facial expression on the woman's face is like of relief, of bliss, right? It's like, oh, it's going to be okay. Whew, take a deep breath, right? So that's everything I'm seeing for this particular pet, pile 1. Thank you so much for letting me tune in to your pet. Like I said, I wish I'd done a pet reading before because I found that I really like tapping into animal energy. They're very cute, even if they are kind of apparently maybe a little bossy sometimes. They rule the roost, right? But this is a very lovely pet. I'm getting a sense of someone that loved you or currently loves you very, very deeply, pile 1. So yes, this was a fun reading, and I hope you liked it. I hope it resonated. If it did, if you did like it, please like or comment or subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so yet, that just helps me a little bit, which helps me provide more readings for both you and others in the future. And as is tradition on Lone Pine Tarot, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. And if you are looking at, you know, a little bit of a procedure for your pet coming up, if this is a currently living pet, I wish you good luck. Just remember, they said hope and happiness. So I think that's a pretty good sign of it. It's gonna turn out just fine, okay? And they're telling you that. They're letting you know that. They're just, you know, They're like, don't leave me alone. Oh. That's really cute. They'll be fine, though, I think. Yes, okay. And yeah, wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading is what I always say. So there you go. Bye, pile 1. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 2. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about messages from your pet. As you recall, your pile leader you chose and were drawn to was the Knight of Pentacles with the very cute bumblebee. So, when we do pick with tarot cards, of course, I like to put them right back into the deck so that they're available for the message if need be. And we're going to start our tarot reading today with 5 tarot cards from your pet, explaining more about who they are and kind of the trajectory of their life. Now, if this is a currently living pet, it'll go from beginning to present, or if this is a pet that has passed on, the last card will kind of represent the end of their life, right? So, pet for pile number 2, could you please provide us 5 cards? Can you tell us more about your life, please? Thank you. Who you are. Okay, these 2 are going to come out together, so I'll take them. And I'm feeling that one for number 5. Let's unveil the cards together. So, to begin the reading, we have, with a raven, the 7 of Pentacles. Okay, so that's about planting seeds for the future. You know, I think you might have gotten them when they were very young, pile 2. I don't know if that was, it depends on the animal, right? Which, you know, that can mean like a kitten or a puppy, or you got them as like a little baby bird if they were a small bird. Something along those lines because of the eggs here in the nest. It's like, yeah, like planting seeds for the future. I almost wonder too if you owned their parent, and it's like say you had a cat and then she got pregnant and then she had kittens, and like this pet might have been like a kitten of that prior cat. Something along those lines is like you were there for their very early, well, I would say like kittenhood, but depending on the animal, their childhood, right? And 2, I get the sense that this animal was very alert, because the 7 of Pentacles, like I said, is being really preparing for the future. So like 2, especially if they were like a dog or a cat, it's like they knew to like watch for things for you. Like, oh, is there any like suspicious people around? Like, is the home safe? Things like that. Like a very alert, kind of smart animal. And then we have another Pentacles. We have the 2 of Pentacles with the ram reversed. So imbalance. Could mean that they literally took a fall at one point in their life, hopefully not to any injury, right? But also it can mean kind of clumsy as a person as well, because it's like reversed, it's like having imbalance of some sort. But of course we also have a ram, and of course we think of rams as being kind of stubborn, okay? So, or well, I guess reversed it would be the opposite of stubborn, so maybe it was like a pet that was very, like, kind of went along with everything with you. Like, they didn't resist you very much. They didn't try to fight with you or anything. Because, you know, sometimes you get a pet, depending on their personality, and they're very stubborn and they kind of fight you. Like, you love them, right? But sometimes they're kind of like, maybe like butt heads sometimes. This particular animal, I'm getting the sense that they didn't really struggle with you. They always kind of trusted you, or they currently do if they're still alive. Like, oh, pile 2 is my owner or my friend, and like, I trust them to take care of me. I trust them to kind of know to guide me, right? But yeah, there's something about maybe imbalance. I don't know if maybe they are kind of clumsy, or it's like they took a fall at one point, or it's like they can't quite walk right for some of you. Something like that. Let's grab the next card for clarity. We have the Ace of Wands reversed with the Dragonfly. Ace of Wands reversed is, like lacking a new idea, lacking new inspiration or willpower. Okay. So, and I say this very lovingly, pile 2, but maybe they're also kind of, or they were like a lazy animal. Maybe they were just very content just to kind of sit around. You know, maybe they gained some weight because they were just a more happy, let's just sit around type animal, which, you know, we love them at any size, of course. And, you know, even if you have, you know, say a little bit of a fat kitty, they're even just that much more to love, right, when you cuddle them. So, but I do get the sense, right, that, you know, maybe they were a little bit lazier. They currently are. That's okay, right? Some of us as humans are that way too. a little bit lazy, like to lounge around, not so excitable. So I get very like gentle energy off of this particular pet pile too. It's like they're very go with the flow. Like I said, it doesn't seem like they ever fight with you, or they never did if, you know, if they passed on. It's like they're just so easygoing and relaxed, even though they are very alert, like I said. Like watchful, but most of the time, let's just nap, right? Let's just lounge around a little bit. And then we have the Seven of Wands. Okay, once again, we have a little bit of a defensiveness. So I don't know if like this was a dog that you had that was very like protective, or it could have even been like I suppose other pets can be protective too, pile two, but especially I think of dogs when I think of protectiveness, right? Depending on the breed, right? But because the Seven of Wands is like defending oneself or defending ourselves. It's, you know, it's funny too, because I can't remember exactly what this animal is. It might be a tardigrade, they call it. But I think the reason why this particular animal was picked for this card is because it's like they are very like sensitive, soft creatures, right? They're very, you know, they don't look like they're a creature that can defend themselves very well. So it's almost like this pet saw you as, and once again, I say this like with the utmost respect, pile two, but this is like the pet saying this, right? Like, oh, well, pile two is weak and I need to protect them. Like, that's kind of the way that they saw you, or they see you currently, like, oh, I need to look out for them. Like, they're my pack, or like they're part of my litter and they need me to protect them. So it's funny because it's like pile one had a pet that was very like, their owner was like their mommy, but like with you, pile two, it's almost like this pet thinks that they're your mommy or your daddy. Like, you're the child. And then, so once again, I almost kind of get cat energy off of that as well, even though I said dog before, is because of the protectiveness. But that's like, for example, that's what cats tend to, like, if they're let outside and they can hunt, they tend to bring you like half-eaten animals because they think, oh, well, humans can't hunt for themselves, I need to provide them with food. So there's some sort of like, they felt like a responsibility or like a protectiveness of you in that way as well. Like they thought, oh, this is my squishy human and I need to protect them, so, or I need to provide for them, is kind of what I'm getting off of them with that Seven of Wands. And then we do have the King of Swords reversed. Once again, so this is a crow, but it's very similar to the raven, right? Kind of the blackbirds. And the King of Swords reversed is, yeah, you know, it's funny, because usually that means someone that isn't like, once again, I say this lovingly, like maybe not like the smartest person or animal, I should say. I do get the sense that they're very alert, but maybe it's like they kind of like overly, like as much as they were like go with the flow, pile two, it's like sometimes maybe they overreacted because they were so protective, maybe not necessarily so wise with things, and despite being watchful and protective. But then too, like the King of Swords is, you know, swords is like communication, so it's always like maybe they were a little bit too loud sometimes, like especially if they were a guard dog, maybe they just barked like far too much. Like I've never had a dog myself, but I've heard of, you know, from people that in my life that have had dogs, and online too, that, you know, sometimes you have a dog that just, it'll hear the neighbor like way over in the other house, like next to you, and they'll just freak out and like bark because they're like, oh, someone's home or someone's coming. I need to be alert and watchful. So it's almost like maybe they barked or like they made too much noise at times, like, but it was because they wanted to protect you and they wanted to alert you and they wanted to be like vigilant for you. So it really came from a place of love, pile two, or if they currently are like a living pet, it comes from a place of love, present tense, right? Even if, you know, maybe sometimes they're a little bit too loud, right? But you love them anyways, of course. So, oh God, these readings are so cute. I was telling Pile One this too. I was like, I should have done a pet reading earlier. I love tapping into animal energy. It's just very sweet. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm seeing. I get the sense that I think this pet is still alive for most of you. I think it's a current pet. Although, because of the prevalence of the raven and the crow, you know, we tend to associate those animals with like, you know, like they're carrion birds, so we kind of associate them with death a little bit. So, you know, although with the crow being reversed at the end, I think, yeah, I'm still getting the sense that most of you, this is a pet that's alive. But if this is resonating in a way where you're like, this is dead on to a dead pet of mine, then I would take that as that it is like a pet that has passed on for you, okay? Because as general readings, everyone's going to be just a little bit different as to how it applies, but that is the personality, at least, that I'm getting off of the pet coming in collectively for you. So, very, very cute. So, maybe a little dopey sometimes. but very protective. They love you very much. And yeah, like I said, I think you got them when they were very young with the Seven of Pentacles. And two, I was just thinking about that too. It's like the raven protecting the eggs. So it's like that parent protecting their child. Like, that's the way they see you, is like, oh, this is my child's human and I need to protect them. Oh, it's so cute. Yeah. Okay, so let's grab, I have a cat wisdom deck. I don't use it very often. I used it in the last reading. Well, I dropped some of it. One moment, please. Unfortunately, with glossy stock, I tend to drop it easily, so... Whoopsie daisy. Okay, get this deck back in order. There it went flying. Okay. What was I saying? I was talking about using this deck not very often. Yeah, I don't use it very often, but I thought, why not use the cat deck for a pet reading, right? So, what else would you like to tell them, my wonderful pet of Pile 2? Thank you. Oh, look at that. It's a little kitten in a basket. We have safety. What do I keep telling you, Pile 2. I'm like, I think they're very protective. Safety. They're very safety oriented. And the back says, what are you hiding from? The coast is clear. If you feel like you're wandering into unfamiliar territory, remember, there's no need to be scared. Life never hands you more than you manage. Embrace this opportunity for growth and freedom. Yeah, so once again, I think it's just that protectiveness thing coming up again. They're very focused on safety. I don't know if at some point in their life, like perhaps they had lived a life where they, like, I don't know if they had been hurt or like there was an intrusion at one point, like a home invasion from like a burglar or something, and it's like forever afterwards they were kind of skitsy about that, a little bit fearful. And so I think Pile 2, but they do it out of love is what I'm hearing. But once again, it's kind of like with the message of the card. What are you hiding from? The coast is clear. You don't need to be scared. So it might also be kind of an apology if they tend to freak out a little bit easily. Like, oh, I'm sorry I freak out so much. It's just I want to make sure that I protect you. I want to make sure that we're safe together. So I think that might be a little bit of a, oops, sorry I barked too much, or whatever noise they might make. Or, you know, if like they're a cat, maybe they freak out a little bit and go run hiding when strangers come over, things like that. So... that is part of the message they want to share with you. Let's grab another card as well. I won't drop this deck, I promise. Okay. We have, the butterfly. Delight in life and embrace change as the source of your creativity. Okay. So once again, we have something about like embracing change or embracing the new. So I think part of the reason they're in your life, Pile 2, is because it's like you're someone that brings them, like, as much as they're protective of you, Pile 2, it's like you're someone that also brings them the security that they need to learn how to embrace change. So it's kind of like a minor life lesson in their life, being with you, where it's like you give them this safe ground. Like, that's the phrase that keeps repeating in my head with this intuitively. Like, you're the safe ground or like the safe anchor for them to embrace change in life. And they're really appreciative of that, Pile 2. And then, yeah, it says, delight in life and embrace change as the source of your creativity. I don't know, have you ever, like, drawn or painted them before, Pile 2? I'm getting the sense that some of you have. Like, you've drawn or you painted them a lot, or at least, like, one portrait, or, like, recently you had a portrait done of them, even if you didn't, or someone else, like, gave you a portrait of them, even if you haven't, like, you didn't do it yourself. Or it could be also, like you take a lot of pictures of this pet. I know a lot of people do take pictures of their pets, so... That's not like a very specific thing, but there's something there with the creativity. And 2, butterflies often represent rebirth in cartomancy. And so, like Pile 1 today, I think this pet has reincarnated with you before. And I think they will again in the future. Very beautiful. Embrace change as a source of your creativity. I think they might even inspire you creatively sometimes. That's why I was saying, I was like, some of you paint or like draw this animal a lot, or you have. Beautiful. Let's grab the tea leaves. Let's see what else your pet wants to say. Our little scaredy cats. All right, what else do you want to say, pet of Pile 2? You know, I wonder if that's what that Two of Pentacles reversed was earlier, because it's like something about being off balance. I almost wonder, too, if that kind of means, like, And once again, I say this lovingly, pile 2. I almost wonder if like this pet kind of comes off as a little crazy sometimes because they're so scaredy cat with things and protective. Maybe that's kind of what like off balance means. We'll see. Take what resonates. But oh, we have a dog. How fitting. We have dog close up. Pleasure with a close friend. So once again, I think a lot of you, this is like a protective dog of some sort that's coming through. Pleasure with a close friend. So that's just them reemphasizing you're a close friend of theirs, pile 2. Even if they've already passed on, they're very close to you every single day, even if you don't necessarily notice it. You're kind of like their partner in crime, I'm hearing. We also have older woman, dealings or relationship with an older woman. I don't know if maybe you got the pet from an older woman, or like maybe like I was saying before that like you got them as a baby, but like maybe like the person that was adopting them out was an older woman, or it was like the person that had the cat or the pet that was the parent of like when you got them as a baby originally came from like a mother or a grandmotherly figure of some sort, or just an older woman in like your community, something like that, pile 2. And 2, if you already like this pet has already passed on, I want to say that they were either like close to this older woman, or if that older woman has also passed on, pile 2, I get the sense that they're both very close together on the other side. There's something about like they loved another person that was like a previous owner that was the older woman, or it was like someone in your family that they were really close to that was an older woman. Something along those lines is what I'm hearing. So if that older woman has passed on, pile 2, that's kind of an emphasis from this pet that like, hey, I'm here with this person that we both love. Like, I wanted to let you know that they're here too. So if this is someone that's passed on, or for those of you, this is a living pet, I get the sense that I don't know if you have, and this is very oddly specific, pile 2, so forgive me if this is kind of vague for some of you, but like, I don't know if you have a ghost in your house that's of an older woman and this dog or this pet reacts to them a lot. And they're pointing that out. Like maybe if you notice that they react to something that you don't necessarily know why, it might be this, there's a spirit in your house of an older woman that they something about a ghost they keep saying. I don't know. It's like, oh, there's a ghost here. It's like, oh, I noticed this ghost. And you know, pets are very in tune with the other side, pile 2. Like I've had lots of pets that just kind of knew things, or like they've noticed things, right? I should say. And so it's like some of you, it's like they're saying like, if you ever notice me reacting to something that doesn't quite make sense, like sometimes it might be a spirit that they're reacting to. I don't get like a bad vibe off of this ghost or anything, pile 2, so they don't like freak out and be like, oh god, there's a poltergeist or something. But I am feeling that there is like an older woman spirit involved here in some capacity. So let's grab the next card we have. Oh, once again, we have a dog. I swear to God, this is a dog for most of you because you've gotten like multiple dog cards, but this is the hound and the pair with loyalty. I'm telling you, this animal is like your best buddy, man. They're like, this is my ride or die human. Your little stunt double. Very cute. Or I guess stunt double isn't really the right word, but ride or die buddy, maybe. Partner in crime is what I said earlier. So cute. So loyalty. Very, very loyal. They love you very much, pile 2. And I know, of course, all your pets love you that you've ever had, right? But this one in particular is very close, okay? And I don't know if they have like white or gray fur. There's a lot of animals with like white, gray fur in this pile. And even the older woman, of course, has like the gray hair. And maybe the pet is like an older female. That's another way you could interpret the older woman. But I do get the sense it's like a human older woman that's involved, so let's see, the last card. Very loyal, it's so cute. And then we have culmination of vision. We've got butterflies once again, okay. This is a very autumnal card. I don't know if they were born in the autumn or you got them in the autumn. Culmination of vision is like something kind of finally coming to fruition after dreaming about it for a long time. You know, pile 2, I don't know if there's some sort of dream that you've been... Well, I guess dreaming is the verb we would use. A dream that you've been dreaming about lately that they're a part of. Like, I don't know if you're moving somewhere. And it's like they're along for the ride. They'll be moving with you. or if it's like somewhere that you're moving and you have to leave them behind because it's like an apartment that doesn't take pets, in which case my condolences, pile 2. I know it's really difficult to have to leave a pet behind, but it's like they're kind of encouraging you, like it's going to be okay. Like, go after that dream. It's going to be fine. Especially with it being autumn, because with autumn, I mean, I'm really drawn to the imagery of like trees losing their leaves, so it's like losing something. But it's very beautiful at the same time. I'm going to grab an extra tarot card on that. I want to ask more. Pet of pile 2, what do you mean by culmination of vision? I think it's moving. Watch you get the 6 of Swords or something, but it's like moving or like a dream of yours. They want to be there for it, or like if you have to leave them behind, they understand. The Emperor with the elephant. The Emperor is about masculine energy. It's about authority and power. It's like they're encouraging you to be bold or brave with something, pile 2, is what I'm hearing. This pet is saying, like, two with the Emperor is like the father card. So that's just another emphasis, like I said. I think they see they see themselves as like a parent to you, but I did ask this as specifically like clarification on culmination of vision. And elephants have long memory. I think you've been working on it for quite a while, or it's something you've been thinking about or having to kind of face for a long time. And then the butterflies are, that rebirth, that change, right? Delight in life and embrace change. Yeah, I think it's like you're going through a time of a lot of change, pile 2, and it's like, I wonder if you've been wondering, like, how will this affect my pet? Or at the time, if they did pass on already, it's like at the time you lost them because you had to move or make a change of some sort, or like something along those lines. And they're saying it's okay. It's going to be okay. Like, if it was in the past, pile 2, it's like they're like, I don't blame you. I'm not angry at you. I understand why you had to leave me behind, or I understand why we had to make that change. If, like, say it was a situation where you were able to keep them, or like currently right now, if you're facing that, pile 2, they're like, I understand. Because I almost get like a transitional type energy off of this. Like, it's like meant only to be a part of your life for a certain amount of time. And it's like, if you do lose this pet, pile 2, there's something about the next person that they'll be with that they're going to be really integral to their life path for some reason too. So for those of you that are facing losing a pet here, pile 2, once again, like I said, my condolences, but there's something here about, like, they're saying it's gonna be okay. It's fine. Like, this is, as sad as this is, it's like it's kind of meant to be, because there's something about culmination of vision here, like it's part of what's supposed to happen. And even then, too, it's like they're still very loyal to you, but I think if, like, you do have to give them up to someone else, it's like they're going to play a really big role in their life, too, that they're supposed to play. It's kind of bittersweet, pile 2, but just know that it'll turn out okay if it is a pet that you are currently, like, having to face giving up for whatever reason. It's gonna be okay. In fact, that might even be an inclination of, like, if you're trying to look for someone to adopt them out to, like, if you do have to make a move to an apartment where they don't accept pets, the older woman might be someone that would be a good person to adopt this pet to. Like, either someone in your family or an older woman in your community, pile 2, something like that. Because, too, the Emperor is, like, protective energy as a masculine positive sign. So they're saying, like, I'll be protected, I'll be fine, right? I'll protect someone else if you do have to give me away, or maybe if this is past tense, you had to give them away at some point. Okay. So that is your reading today, pile 2. I'm sorry it ended on kind of a bittersweet note, but the message was really coming through prominently, and I was like, well, I don't want to leave it out just because, it's bittersweet, because I think for some of you it'll be kind of a healing message as well, especially if there was a pet that, you had to give up, or you're currently facing that, right? But they are emphasizing safety and protection, right? It's going to be fine. They're going to be protected. Or, like I said, past tense, it was an okay change for them. It turned out just fine. So, yeah, lovely pet energy. Like I said, very gentle energy I'm getting, even though maybe sometimes they spaz out a little bit sometimes, bark a bit. Maybe a little bit of a scaredy cat, but they were very, very, very protective of you, or currently are, pile 2. So go forward knowing that this pet loves you very much. Okay, so I hope you liked the reading, and I hope it resonated with you. If it did, please like and comment and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet. That just helps me out a little bit, which helps me provide more readings for both you and others in the future. And as is our tradition on Lone Pine Tarot, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading, pile 2. Bye. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 3. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about a message from your pet. As you recall, the pile leader you were drawn to was the 5 of Cups with the, still not sure if they're locusts or grasshoppers, crickets, something along those lines. But yes, that's the pile leader that you picked today. So when we do pick with tarot cards, I like to put them right back into the pile so that they're available for the message if need be. And I would like to reach out and connect to a pet that wants to leave a message for pile 3 today. Either a pet that has already passed on or a pet that's currently living. Could you please provide us 5 cards for pile 3 that explains more about who you are and what your life has been or was like? Thank you. Okay, definitely that one. And I feel this one back there for the 5th one. Okay, so let's reveal the tarot cards and learn more about this pet, pile 3. So the first card is very cute. We have the 2 penguins with the 2 of Cups reversed. Very interesting. So, seeing this as the very first card, pile 3, I get the sense that at the beginning of the life of this pet, whether they're still here or perhaps they've already passed on, like I said, there was some sort of heartbreak that they had. I don't know if maybe they were separated from a sibling pet that they were drawn to, or another pet that they were really connected to very closely, or it could have been a owner that they had before you that they were very close to, that it kind of, it could even have been pile 3, and I know this is kind of a sad topic, but maybe even an owner that didn't treat them very well before you adopted them or took them under your wing. But in either case, there's some sort of sadness and break in a relationship at the very beginning here of their life. They're showing that as this is where my life started, or at least when they came to your care, pile 3, that's what their life started as, is some sort of heartbreak, some sort of disconnection, disharmony. This could also represent that maybe at the very beginning, when you had this pet, you didn't necessarily get along very well, because 2 of Cups reversed can also mean people that just don't get along, at least at first, right? So let's see what the next card is to get more of a sense of this pet. Then we have the Fool reversed. Let's see, turtle looks like it's breaking from its egg. The Fool reversed is either being wary of taking risks, or it can mean, this isn't something new to me. I don't know if maybe they had a lot of owners. Maybe it's, that's why the heartbreak is such a prominent thing at the beginning, because it's they've had a lot of heartbreak in their life. This very, very poor pet, I'm kind of sad for them, right? Because, no pet wants to be completely, tossed around from owner to owner to owner. They just want their owner, and they want to stay with their owner, and they love their owner. But of course, as we all know, unfortunately in life, sometimes pets do get kind of thrown around from place to place. And so I almost wonder too, maybe that's because you didn't connect with them very well at the beginning because they'd been kind of tossed around a lot. I know a lot of times when pets and people too, when they have been abandoned a lot, they have abandonment issues, and so it's almost like they were afraid to get attached because it was oh no, this human is just going to leave me behind too, like all the rest of them did, which is really sad to start to read the reading off with. But that is what I'm seeing, pile 3, for this particular pet. And 2, with the Fool being reversed, I don't get the sense that you got them when they were young, because an upright Fool would tell me youthfulness. Reversed, a Fool tells me they were a little bit older, or at very least they seemed a lot older than they actually were because of the bad experiences that they had gone through. So let's keep going. We have the Hermit reversed. Okay, they came out of their shell, and literally I just remembered The Fool is a turtle coming out of its shell, but that's what the Hermit reversed means too, is coming out of your shell, coming out of isolation. Pile 3, eventually, this pet trusted you. This pet was like, you know what? This human isn't going to give up on me like the others did, or the other one did, if it was just maybe one owner before you, right? This is a human that I can trust. And so I'm really strongly hearing from this pet an appreciation for you, Pile 3, because you were someone that brought them out of that shell, literally, like the shell cracking. But the Hermit reverse too is like becoming more social, less isolated, things like that. And it's hard because, you know, you have pets that have trauma, right? And just like people, you know, it's really hard to break those traumas, especially with animals, because, you know, they give trust and they give love so selflessly and so easily compared to humans, right? Pile 3. And when that's broken, it's like a lot of times they don't quite understand like why that's broken like humans do, at least in terms of like the way that humans can rationalize, you know, why people fail us, right? And so it's even harder to make a pet like that trust humans again, but you did, Pile 3. You did. Which is, like, I don't want to say a miracle, because it's not like it's impossible, but especially everything this pet had been through, it basically was a miracle, but you did it. And I think it took a lot of dedicated love, Pile 3. It took a lot of dedicated loyalty and reassurance. Hey, I'm not just going to let you go like everyone else did or your other owner did, things like that. And then we have the Queen of Swords reversed, okay? That tells me that they perhaps still kind of struggled a little bit with trying to like logically understand everything, because it was like you were an owner that, or currently are an owner that is like so different from what they're used to. It just kind of like confuses them. They're like, I don't know, why is this human so different from the other ones? Like, it's like they almost kind of don't know if they, at least at the time right after they kind of started coming out of isolation, they're like, I don't know if I can fully trust them yet, but, you know, because the Queen of Swords reversed is someone that it feels like something doesn't make sense to them, or it's like something that, like, they can't make logical order of something, okay? And 2, it can also mean someone who's kind of snippy, okay? So maybe even this pet dealt with a little bit of, I don't know, like maybe they bit a little bit if they had teeth, or it could have been like maybe they, maybe a little bit ornery at first when they were first kind of coming out of the isolation, but once again, I'm still hearing that you busted them out of that Pile 3, or if this is a current pet, it's like you're on your way there already. And then, we have the 7 of Cups with the Narwhal. Okay, so the 7 of Cups is all about, very interesting. It's about like choosing between your dreams and being careful about what choices you make in terms of the things that you love or the dreams that you're seeking after. So I almost want to say, though, in a pet reading, Pile 3, this is telling me that even though it didn't necessarily make logical sense to them at first, when they started kind of coming out of their shell and learning that they could trust you, eventually down the line, because here's the other thing, the 7 of Cups can also represent something is too good to be true, or that someone feels like it's too good to be true. So, like, I think that's just how they still interacted with you afterwards. It's like they still just couldn't believe, because of the trauma they had been through, this poor animal, right? That this, like, this owner is just so nice to me. But it's like eventually that they did earn, or well, you earned their trust, I should say. Or, you know, if you're currently going through, like, if this is a current pet, right, Pile 3, you're well on your way there. It's just that it takes a while for their mind to kind of adjust understanding what love is, because I think, you know, because of the, honestly, let's be honest, I think they kind of had like a bad life before they got to you, but, you know, a good blessing that they are with you, or they did get to you after that point, Pile 3, because I think you've made a really pivotal change in this pet's life, or you did if they're already passed on. You know, in terms of whether or not if this pet is still on Earth or has already left to the next world, I'm kind of getting 50-50 here with this reading. The Fool reversed might indicate to me that leaning more, some of them have already passed on for collectively everyone watching Pile 3 today, but at the same time, I do get the sense to, like, half of you, this is like something you're currently going through, like it's a current pet, okay? So I think that's why they want to reach out, is because they either want to give clarity on, like, how to continue kind of encouraging them and coaxing them out of their shell, despite, you know, kind of maybe how much it doesn't make sense to them or how scared they might be still, or for those of you, this is a passed on animal. This is them emphasizing, thank you for being patient with me, is kind of the message coming through from them. And well, even if they're still living, it's like a thank you for being patient with me. Thank you for not giving up on me like other people did. Because I think this particular pet is a kind of pet that it's like on the surface, they're not. Oh, this is also just a sad truth, pile 3. But like, sometimes there's some pets that just like, they're not instantly like super friendly and in your face, so people kind of overlook them. Like, I don't know if they were at the shelter for a long time because people kind of overlooked them. I know that happens with older animals too. Like I was saying with the full reversed, I get the feeling that this pet was older when you adopted them. I at least, my expertise area is cats, right? And I know at least with cats, it's probably with dogs too, people love puppies and kittens, but people do not adopt older animals as often, which is just really sad. But so it was like them saying, well, thank you for noticing me. Thank you. Well, everyone else skipped over me and I got abandoned. You're someone that really saw the light in me, even though right at first maybe it didn't shine out so brightly. Okay. Or maybe even I nipped at you a little bit and you still gave me a chance. Okay. So it's like this deep appreciation for that patience and that grace that you've had with them, pile 3. And they're just saying like, thank God this human was so willing to work with me, because other people might have been less patient and would have just put me right back to the pound or right back to the adoption center, whatever, depending on the type of animal it is, right? But things like that. So very, very sweet energy too. I get the sense that even if they did sometimes get a little nippy or maybe a little irritated, it's like they felt bad afterwards. It's just that they were, or currently are, like it's a protectiveness because of their lived experience before you adopted them, pile 3. So it's almost kind of an apology for that too. I almost hear it's like them saying like, I'm so sorry that I've been difficult, but I just need a little bit more careful handling than other pets because of where I've been, right? That's what the feeling I'm getting off of this pet. So very cute energy, very sweet pet, just a little hurt. Needs some healing, right? Or needed some healing if they're already passed on. Okay, let's grab, I do have the cat deck actually. I don't use the cat wisdom deck very much, but I thought for a pet reading, why not use the cat one, right? There are other animals in this one too. And in terms of types of animals, I'm not really seeing a very clear contender either way. I mean, there are 2 birds. We have, once again, like I said for pile 1, because this was their pile leader, I'm not sure what bird this is with the Queen of Swords, but it is a bird. And then we also have the penguins in the first cards. So maybe a bird. And then also the eggshell makes me think of things that hatch from an egg, like turtles, birds, things like that. Amphibians. So I almost wonder, it could have been an aquatic animal as well, but okay, well that, I don't know if I can, oh my god, how many cards is that? Is that 3? Well, that's 4 here. I'm so sorry, Pat. Could you give us just 1 or 2 cards? We're going to take 1 or 2. 1 or 2 cards, please. Okay, that was quite quick. Okay, literally just fell out. So we'll take that one. We have Stay Focused, and we have a fishbowl. Once again, aquatic animal. Interesting. Or, I mean, of course it is a cat deck, so of course it's going to be biased towards cat, but Stay Focused. Something with their eyes. I don't know if it's like the way that they would look at you, or like they were wary about being looked at. Something to do with like vision or eyes, or the way that like people would look at them or they would look at other people. So stay focused. Be clear about your purpose. What have you set out to achieve? Keep the end goal in your sights and remain focused to assure your success. Okay, so once again, pile 3, if this is currently a pet that you're kind of working with and trying to coax them out of their shell more, this is once again them emphasizing, I'm so sorry that I might be difficult, but please keep going because it's working. Okay, whatever you're doing to make this pet happier is working. All right. And 2, I think when I was reading it, I heard something about like when you interact with me, please make your intentions super clear. That's another thing too, because I almost wonder if maybe a previous owner they had would like kind of, oh, this is really sad, pile 3, but like maybe would kind of like trick them into thinking everything was okay, and then they would be like mean to them. So that's maybe why they also have trust issues in a way. So, just be very clear about your purpose. Be clear with your intention when you're interacting with them. Okay. That, or if this is a pet that has passed on, I get the sense for those of you, if that is what applies, then it's almost like they're telling you there's something in your life they really want you to focus on and keep going on right now. And that could be any goal. It doesn't even have to be related to a pet of some sort that you might currently have, but it's like they're trying to give you a bit of a pep talk. They're trying to keep you motivated for something. They're like, you're almost there. Just keep focusing. Like, if this is a pet that passed on, it's like, just like when you interacted with them and it was difficult to break them out of their shell, at the same time, you still went through with it and it was rewarding in the end because you did give that pet the love that they so deeply, desperately needed, I think, after having been denied it for a long time, right? And they're saying, like, apply the lesson that you learned with me to what you're doing now. Okay, stay focused. Keep going with your intention. Okay. Very cute. Let's see. Then we have the animal messages cards. We're using animal decks all over today. Because why not for a pet reading? What else do you want to say to them, pet of pile 3? Feeling that one right there. We have the rhinoceros. Another horned animal, like the narwhal. Rhinoceros. Still the chatter within to see your true path in life. And another bird, too. Still the chatter within to see the true path in life. You know, I don't know if maybe you're on to like a crossroads of some sort, pile 3. Or it's like with this pet, if you're currently working with them, it's like you're not quite sure what direction to take. Because you're like, I don't know if I should keep doing this or doing this other thing with this pet. Like, maybe you've been trying a lot of different things. And I'm hearing it's like even the smallest things help, is what they're saying. Like even just being in your presence, pile 3, helped or does currently help them a lot. Even if you think you're not actively doing anything. You know, there's something about really closely observing them too. Like not just because of stay focused, pile 3, but also because of it's like still the chatter within and see. There's a lot about seeing. I wonder too if there's something with their eyes. Like I don't know if they had an eye injury or it was like their eyes are just very striking. This animal. But yeah, there's a lot of emphasis on like seeing something for what it really is. Huh. Let's grab the other cards too because I'm very curious. I'll see if we'll get some more. You know, actually, let me grab tarot. I do have other oracle decks to get to, but I want to grab a tarot card for that rhinoceros. Head of pile 3. Could you give me a tarot card explaining more what you mean about the rhinoceros card? Thank you. Judgment. Judgment with the... Is that a fly, technically? And there's moonflowers up here. Interesting. Judgment is about passing on... Oh. So for those of you this pet has passed on, this is them saying to you, I leave signs around you that I'm still here that you might not necessarily be noticing. Okay. Because of the emphasis of still the chatter within and see something, and judgment meaning, you know, ascending to the next world is kind of one interpretation. If this animal is dead currently, they've already passed on, they're telling you, I leave you signs that you don't necessarily notice that I want you to see. Okay, so we'll see if there's some repeated imagery in this reading. Sometimes that can tell us like synchronicities to look out for or symbols in like our waking life to look out for from people from the other side. But for those of you, this is a pet that's currently alive. It's like... something about like going to the next level. The level up. It's like they're saying in order to move to the next level with me, to get me to the next level of comfort with you after everything that I've been through. They're just really emphasizing observe them closely, pile 3. There's some advice there about how to coax them out even more if you just observe them more closely. Like maybe observe like when they get nervous and when they're calm. Because I know sometimes that can be an indicator as to what like their triggers are if they're kind of like a traumatized animal, right? So just keep an eye out for that. Okay. Let's see what else they want to say. I might also have some more context for everything else. we have the coins. Money will be coming to you. Interesting. They're talking about money for some reason. Let's grab another card here. And broken ring. Parting of the ways in either romance or business. Oh, I wonder if they did pass on already for a lot of you. And then money. Very interesting. What are they talking about money for? Pet of pile 3. What do you mean about money? Okay, this is the one popping out. Temperance reversed with the crab. Temperance reversed is a lack of balance, imbalance in things, lack of moderation. I don't know if there's something with spending your money they want to talk to you about, pile 3. Because I asked them, can you explain the coins a little bit more? Money will be coming to you, and they say lack of balance or lack of moderation. I don't know if maybe you've been spending a lot of money on this animal if they're currently still alive. If so, it's like there's something about like, I almost want to say it's like they're saying it's like like you don't need to spend so much. There's more just something about paying attention to me that will bring you the result you're seeking with me in terms of like me coming out of my shell more. And once again, I just realized coming out of the shell, not just with the Fool. Crabs come out of their shells too, right? So it's like, it's not resources, it's attention is the answer to a dilemma that you've been having with them if they're currently still alive. For those of you this animal's passed on, I want to say it's almost a message regarding it's something with your finances. Like you need to balance your finances in some way, which I know is kind of an odd thing for a pet to want to talk about, but it's like you've been maybe having money issues lately, and they're kind of giving you a heads up that like oh, money will be coming with you, even though recently it's been kind of lack of like out of balance. Money will be coming to you. So in that case, it's like a message of hope. If you've been having financial difficulties recently, pile 3. And I want to say it's something to do too with it, like if this is a passed on animal, it's like everything that you did for them is kind of coming back to you karma-wise in the universe based on the good that you did. It's like the good is coming back to you, and like that's the abundance coming through. And then we have balance again with the dragonfly and the pansy. So balance is just like temperance. It's like a balance of things. They're really emphasizing balance and moderation for some reason. Also too, you have a lot of bugs in this reading. We have like the looks like the fly over here almost, or it's almost kind of like a moth. And then we have the dragonfly. I don't know if like they ate bugs. Like I know certain reptiles will eat bugs and things like that. Or it's like they played with bugs a lot, or maybe their name was something related to a bug. But yeah, balance. So I think with that card coming out, if you have been having financial difficulties, pile 3, it's this pet telling you that things are going to come into balance that were out of balance before with the temperance reversed. Yeah, something along those lines. Or 2, it's like a balance of things in terms of like if you're trying to coax them out of their shell, it's like they want you to not focus on so much on one area. It's like a combination of things will be the answer that you're looking for, like balancing between things rather than focusing heavily on one side. And then last but not least, we have, look at that, we have shells again. There's so many shells. And I know I said before, like, look for synchronicities in terms of, like, because I was like, I think this pet keeps sending you messages, and it's like, if they're passed on, I mean, and you're not necessarily getting them, or even if they're currently alive, this pet, it's like your spirit guides are sending you messages in this way to give you things that will help you with this particular pet, pile 3. And shells are the really prominent thing coming through, bugs and shells, but especially shells, because we have the shell with the turtle, we have the shell with the crab. What else do we have? And the shell in your nature's whispers too. So shells, and then so the meaning is be in service. Be in service. And once again, it's like, oh, okay, that's what they mean. Okay, so pile 3, this is just them once again emphasizing that they're really appreciative of everything that you have done for them. Okay, because it's like we have the well, it's not quite a mermaid being, but the aquatic human here is feeding the seahorse some food, or like giving them a shell and seaweed, and it's like being in service to something, taking care of something. So it's like a really emphasis, or high emphasis on, like, they really recognize everything that you do for them and everything that you've done for them. Like, I know I've repeated that a lot in this reading, pile 3, but it's just, it's to such a depth. Excuse the pun because it's under the sea, but it's just such a depth that they keep bringing it up. They're like, I can't believe when everyone else has abandoned me and left me behind that this human finally gave me a chance when no one would. Like, once again, it's like the one phrase I keep hearing is like, oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe this human. I never thought someone would come along that would take care of me in the way that I needed. Or try to understand me, whereas like other people would have just been like, oh, you're defective, you know? Like along those lines. And so, I mean, pat yourself on the back, pile 3, because I mean, out of all the piles today, this is, I mean, of course the other pets appreciated their owners too, but this one is especially like, I want to say miracle. They see you as a miracle in some way too. Like, this human was such a miracle, or is such a miracle to me. Like, light breaking through the darkness of the depths of the sea here in this card too is what I'm really drawn to. So, what a beautiful reading, pile 3. Very grateful animal this pet is, or was. Okay. So, look out for shells. That was a synchronicity that we did see. So I hope that reading was helpful for you. I hope that you liked it. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like and comment and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet. That just helps me out a little bit, which helps me provide more readings for both you and others in the future. And as is our traditional Lone Pine Tarot, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading, pile 3.